Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. I am Darmijaya. In this video, I will explain 7 poin tentang masalah penelitian. The first research problem. Nah, menurut Kellinger, stated the criteria of the problem and statement of the problem as follows. Yang pertama, the problem must be revealed a relationship between two or more variables. Number two, the problem must be stated clearly and unambiguously in the form of questions. Number three, the problem and the problem statement must be formulated in a way certain that implies the possibility of empirical testing. This it can be stated that the problem is the gap between expectation and reality, the gap between theory with practice that required answer and explanation or solving. Next, background atau latar belakang. The background of the problem contains about the gap between expectation and reality, both theoretical gaps or the practical gaps underlying the problem. Researchers in the background this problem is explained briefly. Theory, research result, seminar conclusion, and scientific discussion or personal experience observation that are closely related to the subject the problem under study. Thus, the problem chosen for research get a firmer foundation in a principle. The researcher must be able to answer the questions: why was this problem chosen for research? To find research background, usually keyword used is why the research was conducted. They must be certain research behind this. For example, something that is studied isn't online with people expectation, not in harmony with idealism, not in accordance with theory, and so on. Reason that requires answer, explanation, or solution. That what can be used as an indicator that a study it is feasible or not to do. Next, formulation of the problem atau rumusan masalah. In a study, after determining the background problem and then proceed with completing the formulation of the problem. The formulation of the problem is an attempt to express in terms of writing questions that want to find answer. Problem formulation is a complete and detailed statement regarding the scope of the problem to be investigated based on problem identifications and limitations. The formulation of the problem should be oriented briefly, concisely, clearly, and worded in the form of question. The formulation of the problem is both will reveal the variables under study, the type or nature, the relationship between these variables and the research subject. Besides that, the formulation of the problem should be empirically tested in the sense plus the data to be collected to answer that question proposed. Next, research purposes atau tujuan penelitian. Unlike the formulation of the problem that are commonly used sentence questions in the following of objectives usually use statements formulation research objective or something you want answered, answered, explained, or solved research. We choose the research objectives are targets to able completed talk that research. Next, assumptions atau asumsi. Nah, research assumptions are basic assumptions about something. The something things that are used as a basis for thinking and acting, implementing research. For example, research put forward the assumption that a person's attitude can be measured using attitude scale. In this case, he does not need to prove the truth of the things is assumes, but it can directly take advantage of result of attitudinal measurement he gets. Now, in research, such assumptions are necessarily formulated clearly before stepping into collect data. Such assumptions are called basic assumptions. Basic postulates are assumptions. And researchers need to formulate basic assumptions. Number one, so the tree is a firm basis for the problem being researched. Number two, to emphasize the variables that are the center of attention. Number three, to determine and formulate hypotheses. Next, hypothesis. The hypothesis is a provisional conjecture based on deductive thinking of approach. Not all quantitative research requires a research hypothesis. Hypotheses are needed to direct, direct the steps research collect data. Do analysis test requirements analysis. Test hypothesis and draw conclusion. It should be noted that not all research requires a hypothesis. Hypotheses can be divided into two types. Alternative hypothesis or the research hypothesis, and null hypothesis, zero hypothesis. The alternative is the formal formulation of the research deductive analysis of the problem is studied based on theory. The null hypothesis was completed for the sake of statistical testing and staged in sentence negative. This null hypothesis will later be tested whether it is accepted or rejected. Next, last one, scope. The scope of the study contains the concepts, variables, indicator, and descriptor in detail, making it usually for research in conducting research. The more detailed descriptions that is present in the scope of research, it is possible that will facilitate research in completing research instruments. To facilitate the preparation of the scope of research and analysis of contents in the form in the form of concept variables and indicators them use metric assistance. Okay, I think that's all. Thank you for watching. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.